morning, everybody. Welcome to Chelmsford Tonight. This is the show where we highlight the people and places that make Chelmsford such an amazing place to live and work. I'm Karen Woodrow, owner of Visiting Angels Senior Home Care, right here in Chelmsford, and I'll be your host. The NFL wrapped up its 2022 season with an exciting Super Bowl in Glendale, Arizona, much to the chagrin of Patriots fans everywhere whose team was nowhere to be found. Meanwhile, back here in Chelmsford, the Parker Middle School was making its own impact in the area with its own Super Bowl. Meet April and Zooey Cunha. They are 7th graders here at Parker Middle School, and they are joining me tonight to talk about the Parker Middle School Super Bowl. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for inviting us.
That was great to have you. So tell us, April, tell me about the Super Bowl.
So basically, the Super Bowl is during the week. We like to get food to donate to people who need it the most and who are struggling to get it. And we usually try to collect things that don't need to be refrigerated so that it can last a while. And yeah.
So it was a food drive for the
okay.
Chelmsford Food Pantry, and it was organized through the school. And who organizes it? Is it a teacher event or is it a student-led event?
It's mainly run by the students and teachers. Everyone would try to come up as a community and donate food to help the ones in need, and it's brought everybody together and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. So how long did it last? How long were you collecting food for?
1 week, actually.
For 1 week, and you did it. Was there a competition between students or classrooms or?
Well, it was a competition between classrooms to see who could donate the most, and you would get a tiny prize in return. So it'd be nice.
Whose classroom won?
I think it was Mr. Conley's.
And what grade does he teach?
Grade 6, and he teaches English and history.
Well, congratulations to that class. So it was a big day for you guys. You had a whole week of collecting food, and then you loaded up a truck and you brought it over to the food pantry, which is right in Chelmsford. It is at 50 Rear Billricker Road, and there's a trailer there. So let's take a look at you guys in action, bringing the food over, and you're with Mark Souza, Parker Assistant Principal. So let's take a look.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take all the food and we're going to load it onto the van. All right. Questions? No? All right. Let's begin.
It was really important for our school to do this food drive, and we've been doing it every year since we were here, and we're both in 7th grade. And it was important for the whole school to contribute so we can give people food and anything they need, because that's something everyone needs, and no one should need to feel like that they're struggling to get any of this.
It looks like a great event for you guys, and it seemed like it was in the middle of the day because that's when the food drop-off is. How many items were you guys loading into the pantry? It seemed like a lot.
I think it was over 2,000 because Mr. Conley's class actually raised over 2,000 items, so it was more than that.
Wow. What do you think drove his class to collect so much?
They actually had their own goal that they were going to do. Whoever donated the most, they would pie the teachers. So.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Sounds like it worked well. You guys will have to think of something for next year, too, to get all the classes that into it. 2,000 items is a lot. The Chelmsford Food Pantry is celebrating their 30th anniversary this year, and I bet they really appreciated your donations. So you did this in the middle of the day because that's when the food drop-off is, which means you probably missed a little bit of your 7th grade studies. And some parents might not be too happy about that because you're missing some important, sort of skill building. But what do you think you got out of it? I bet it was a really important moment for you guys. What do you think the school and your classmates got out of the event?
We got out of more leadership skills to work together as partners and work. So, and we got closer to each other by that too. Yeah, and we can also help others who need it more. So we joined forces and worked together in order to achieve a goal to help others.
Oh, That sounds great. Sounds like skills that will really benefit you in the future, and I'm sure that everybody who relies on food from the Chelmsford Food Pantry was really grateful for your efforts. You guys going to be involved next year too?
Most likely, yes, yeah.
So is there a committee of students that get to do this? How did you get to be part of that group that brought it over?
It was actually the student ambassadors. So in the beginning of the year, students who wanted to could run for their class ambassador, and it was 7th grade ones actually too. And if you got chosen, you were able to do like great opportunities like that, and one of them was to help out with the food drive.
All right, well, you guys have my vote for ambassador for 8th grade for next year. Thank you so much for doing this.
Well, thank you.
It was great to have you on the show. We'll be right back after this break. Our next guest is Martha Ho. Martha is a Billerica mom to 2 young children and a member of the Chelmsford Mothers Club. Welcome to Chelmsford Tonight.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
So I don't know how you took time out of your busy schedule of being a Billerica mom and coming on our show, but I really appreciate it. Can you tell us a little bit about the Chelmsford Mothers Club?
Sure. So the Chelmsford Mothers Club is a nonprofit, volunteer-run club with the goal of giving moms an opportunity to make friends and find support that's going to make their adventure in motherhood a little bit easier.
That sounds like a great mission. So what were you doing before you became a mom and before you became a member of the club?
Prior to being a member of the club, I actually was working full-time in the city, and I took a little break. And when I took a break, I realized I didn't really have a network or a tribe, as people say, in the Billerica area where I lived. And so I looked for something that might provide that for me, and I found the Chelmsford Mothers Club, and it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made is joining.
That's really great. So when I told you, when I was thinking about how to introduce you, I was like, Billerica mom, like it didn't feel like enough. Because I remember when I first became a mom, I feel like I lost my identity. I stopped working, I was staying at home, and I was like, who am I? And one day I was walking my son home from preschool, and he and his friend ran up ahead, and they were sitting on a wall, and as I was approaching, the girl goes, oh, Jonah, here comes your mom. And I was like, it was like this revelation that, like, wow, I guess that's who I am now. And I really didn't have the kind of support of a mother's club, and I think it's really great and fortunate that you do, and I hope that this show gets the message out there to Chelmsford moms that might be feeling a little bit lost with this newfound responsibility and who want to be able to talk about it with other mothers. How long has the club been going?
So the club was actually started back in 1996. And so the membership has changed, but the club has kept its core mission and its core programming, and it's still going strong.
About how many members are there?
Right now we have about 250 active members.
And is it all mothers, or do you let stay-at-home dads become part of the organization?
So currently our organization's open to anyone who identifies as a mother.
Oh, great. And that's a lot of people. And do you get a big draw to your events, or do you have a clubhouse that you meet at? Or
So if I were to say there's one place where we consistently meet, that would be our Facebook page, because that's where a lot of important conversation, problem solving, things like that happens. But depending on the actual activity we're doing, our meetings can take place anywhere in the greater Chelmsford area.
That's good that you have a Facebook page, because sometimes new moms can't quite make it out of their pajamas and
Very true.
out
Yeah.
into the world, so they can still get the support from your Facebook group.
Absolutely.
That's great. So what are some of the activities that you guys do?
So every month we have a meeting that provides educational programming for moms, things like maybe it's a behavioral specialist or a sleep specialist that will help them overcome some challenges they might be facing. We also do our very popular moms nights out that aren't necessarily always at night, but we just do fun things like axe throwing, rock climbing. Sometimes it's just dinner and a movie, but things like that to let moms kind of get an escape and have some fun. We also try to do a monthly service program where we serve the greater Chelmsford community, serve their needs, and it gives us an opportunity to get our whole families involved in service, which everybody really finds very rewarding. We do.
So to that
yes.
point, it sounds like you are raising kids that will be active ambassadors at school, like the Parker Middle School, and do the Super Bowl and donate to the food pantry. So it sounds like you're setting a
That's
good
the goal.
foundation.
Absolutely. Yep. And we also help each other out. We have it in a pinch program where if somebody has a new baby or an unexpected injury, we set up meal trains and support for them. And we do some fundraisers to help offset the cost of everything else I mentioned.
And how old is the oldest child of a member, do you think?
That's really tough to say. I would say the lion's share of our membership is moms of younger children, new moms, moms of younger children, because as kids get more actively involved in school, so do their moms. But I know that a lot of the friendships that are made in the club continue on.
So it's really for parents of young children.
We welcome everyone, but I find that that's most of our membership.
Because I would say that the moms who were there in 1996, I mean, their kids are now off, flown and grown, right?
It'd be fun to see. We're thinking for one of our anniversaries coming up, it might be fun to have a little reunion and see.
So I know we have some pictures from some of your events. What's your favorite event that you've been to, do you think?
Wow, that's a tough one because we've done a lot of fun stuff. I really loved the backpack program we did for the Wish Project. We helped support that. And that was really fun because my kids got to get involved and they loved it. My other favorite thing is we just were able to bring back our in-person play groups during the week where we provide a safe, warm space for moms to bring their kids to have a little, moms and guardians, to bring their kids to have a little playtime. And that's been really fun to see that come back post-COVID.
Yeah, that's really nice to get out with your peers and have your kids with their peers and just it's a nice release from your own home of cooking and cleaning and changing diapers and all that. That sounds great. Did you go to axe throwing?
I did.
Yeah?
I did. I had a great time.
How was that, Mama?
It was pretty fun. I don't think the staff was ready for us. We were probably, the loud, rambunctious group, and we had no idea what we were doing, most of us. But hey, nobody got hurt. So.
All right, everybody came home with all their fingers.
Exactly. Everything they went in with, they came out with. So.
Except their pent-up aggression and
exactly.
frustrations.
It was very good for that, yeah.
Oh, good. So your big fundraiser is a tag sale.
Yes.
Kids consignment.
Yep.
When that's coming up soon?
It's coming up April 29th. We do one in the fall and one in the spring. So this will be our spring sale. It gives our membership an opportunity to clean house and consign their gently used children's clothes, toys, shoes, baby gear, all that kind of good stuff. The moms keep most of the percentage of the sales. The club keeps a little bit. And my favorite part is everything that's left over, we have local charities that come and can kind of shop those items so that it can meet their constituents' needs. So to me, it's a win-win-win, and it's open to the public at the Greater Vision Children's Center, and we welcome people to come and shop their hearts out. Some amazing bargains to be found.
Oh, I'm sure. I know that I had a hard time giving my kids stuff away, and so by the time they were of an age where I really had to get it out of my house, I had so much stuff. I think I filled 2 cars to bring it to a consignment place like yours, and a lot of it, my kids just were not hard on their stuff.
Right.
And so it was practically brand new and even like, oh, wow, this is retro. I remember this, that kind of thing. So that's nice that you're able to sort of pay it forward to other parents and shop the different categories of toys.
It's great. It's great when we buy each other's belongings and you see someone else's child in that favorite onesie and you're like, oh, you must have bought that from Little Sam. So it's really fun. It's just an all-around win situation.
Oh, that's great. So do you miss working at all?
I think being a working mom or a stay-at-home mom, I've been fully entrenched in both. It's just 2 different kinds of hard. And I think that's why it's important to have something like the Mothers Club to find a support network and to have people who are going through it with you because, the grass is always greener, right? And I think either way, it's got its wonderful things and it's got its, tough things. I don't have an office door to lock to be left alone anymore, but I also get to see my kids grow in a way I didn't previously. So it's 2 different kinds of hard, but both great.
Yeah, I agree. I stayed home for a while and then I went back to work. And the hardest part about going back to work was remembering to close the bathroom door, right? Because how many times your kids walked in on you?
It's one of the things I miss. It's just, nobody bothered me at work.
Right,
most of the time.
Martha, it's been great to talk to you. You're bringing up a lot of great memories for me of being home with my kids, and I envy you. I think it's fantastic that you have this support group, and thank you for coming on the show and letting other moms know about the Chelmsford Mothers Club, and it draws from the whole area, right?
It does. I'm in Billerica. We have members from Tewksbury, Lowell, New Hampshire. So our reach is pretty far, and we welcome anyone interested to reach out and learn more about the club.
All right. Thanks, Mama. It was nice talking to you.
Wonderful. Thanks for having me.
We'll be right back after this break. Well, folks, we got trouble. Yes, we got trouble right here in Chelmsford City. With us to talk about Voices of Hope, upcoming production of The Music Man at the North Shore Music Theater, are Kenny Meehan and daughter Madelyn Meehan. welcome to Chelmsford Tonight.
Thank you for having us.
So Kenny, you are starring as Harold Hill in the production of The Music Man coming up in April, but tell us what you do by day when you're not like swindling townspeople and trying to sell musical instruments to them.
Well, when I'm not swindling the townspeople at night, I am protecting the townspeople here in Chelmsford. I've been a police officer in town for about 11 years.
Great, a Chelmsford police officer. I think that you would be in your conscience would be chasing Harold Hill down the street, right?
Probably, yes, for sure.
And Madelyn, what do you do when you're not playing Lenita, the mayor of River City's daughter in Music Man?
I am at school. I do a lot of theater at the high school. When I'm not doing theater, I go to work as a swim instructor at Goldfish Swim School.
And you are a student?
I am a student
And where's that?
at Chelmsford High.
And what year are you in?
I'm a sophomore.
And you do theater at the high school?
Yes.
So this is just kind of a side gig that you have. Great. All right, so this isn't just any production of The Music Man. It's being performed by Voices of Hope, a theatrical performance group that raises money for cancer research. Let's hear a little bit from founder Greg Chastain about what Voices of Hope is, and then we'll come back and talk more.
In 2009, I lost my mother to pancreatic cancer. I was in a production of Aida at Arlington Friends of the Drama at the time, and working through my grief in the support of the theatrical community, I realized I wanted to use my passion for theater to give back to the cancer community. So I asked a small group of friends to join me for what was meant to be a one-night-only fundraising cabaret at the Next-Door Theater in Winchester. We raised $17,000 that night, and here we are, 13 years later with over 150 members, and we've donated nearly $900,000 to local cancer research.
This is that very talented group up on stage, and I understand that these Voices of Hope performers, including you guys, are paid very, very well.
All of any money that's raised by the group goes directly to fund cancer research, which is one of the reasons we really enjoy doing it, because it's, you can do theater at all kinds of places, and it can seem almost sort of self-centered to be out there and doing it for the accolades, but for us to be able to do it to help a sort of greater cause is very important to us, for sure.
Right. So I was joking, you guys are all volunteers, and it's amazing to see this talent come together of their own free will just to perform in order to raise money for cancer research. How did you guys get involved in the group?
My wife, Madelyn's mother, started with the group when it was first conceived of back in 2009. The core group that's been around for a very long time, we've all sort of been involved in theater for many, many years. Diane and I met doing theater, and sort of our kids do it with us now. So it's really, for us, it's very, very much a family thing that we enjoy doing. But it all started off just from doing theater together, and it sort of grew from there.
But other people in the group, I think Greg mentioned that a lot of people in the group have been touched by cancer in their lives and are doing this that was their original motivator to get into the group.
Yes, yeah. I mean, for sure. I think that everybody's sort of been touched by cancer nowadays, whether it be in a very personal way, like Greg mentioned, he lost his mother to cancer, which is what sort of prompted him to start the organization to begin with. And everybody's had any number of different sort of experiences with cancer, whether it be, close people or now. I mean, if you're involved with this group for any length of time, you're going to have that close involvement with somebody who's either survived cancer or is going through it. And it's just a great family dynamic of people there to help support everybody and lift each other up.
So, Maddie, you said that you do theater in school and then you do this. Does it feel different being on stage with Voices of Hope performers versus your high school classmates?
It definitely does. I feel like I love high school theater, and it's so great, but Voices of Hope is really a big family. And it's all different types of people, all different ages. And it's really fun being able to perform, especially with my family on stage. And yeah, it's a nice little community.
So the proceeds from the ticket sale for Music Man will go towards cancer research. I understand you have a connection with Mass General, a cancer center affiliated with the hospital.
Yes. For the past 10 years, all the donations have been going directly to the Tamir Center for Targeted Therapies. They do a lot of work there with clinical trials and things to help with people battling cancer, and we have a very close relationship with them, and that's where all the money has been going for the past 10 years or so.
And this upcoming show is part of the March to $1 Million, which means that you are close to having raised $1 million for cancer research. I think the number I heard was so far you've raised about $970,000 that has all been donated to this research center.
That's correct, yeah. It's great. We're sort of hoping that maybe the Music Man will put us over the top. We recently had our annual meeting, and Greg was able to tell us that just this year alone we were able to donate $88,000, just this year, which is a pretty good year for us, So we're hoping that this will sort of put us over the edge for that $1 million goal.
So one of the things that I really liked when I was studying Voices of Hope is that you have actually seen results from your donation. Sometimes when you give money, you don't really know where it's going, and it's research, and you don't really see results. But according to Greg, you guys have actually funded 20 new treatments to help people who are trying to fight cancer, and it's been very you can see that your money is going and really helping people directly.
Yeah, it's great. I think there 23 is the number of FDA-approved therapies that have gone through, with all the different trials that they work on constantly. And the group does have a very close relationship with a lot of the nurses and doctors that work there. They come to see our shows, and we go there. Just this winter, we were there caroling in there and meeting some of their patients. So it's been great to have that sort of a close relationship. You really get to see where your efforts are having an impact.
Did you enjoy performing for some of the patients?
Yes, it was super fun. We get to in the winters, we go and carol everywhere, and it was super great performing. I know a lot of people, it felt really great performing for the patients and seeing where our money is going towards.
So there's all kinds of performance. I know you do 2 shows at the North Shore Music Theater. One is a cabaret in the fall, and then you do a big sort of book musical in the spring. What other kinds of events are you doing?
We actually have our summer program, which is for the kids of Voices of Hope, and we have a couple months in the summer where we're just there every week performing a little show for all the kids, and it's great. It's super fun.
Yeah, that's actually the second biggest fundraiser that Voices of Hope had this year was the summer program that they do, which is great to get the kids involved at an early age, and they have a real good grasp of what their performance is helping to do, and I think it's really for me as a parent, certainly it's great to see both of my kids involved with that and really sort of having the understanding of where their money's going. And then throughout the year, we try to get the Voices of Hope word out. So that we get the exposure, and we do a lot of national anthems. We've We've done national anthems for the Patriots, the Celtics, the Bruins, so anything that we can do to sort of use our talents to get the sort of exposure and the word out about Voices of Hope and the work they do.
And also, so you did the national anthem at a lot of the sporting events, but also I saw a performance on the USS Massachusetts on a big ship.
Yes, that was a lot of fun, actually. So during COVID, it was impossible to do any live performing. Everything had shut down to that point. So we were doing a lot of, just to keep ourselves together as a group, we were doing a lot of video performances and things like that, which are all still available on our website, I believe. But we were able to with the USS Massachusetts, we did perform on the deck of a historic battleship in conjunction with them as part of some sort of advertisement for their museum.
So how many members do you have?
So many. I don't.
That's a great question. I don't know the actual numbers but I mean, we have over 60 people in this show alone, and that's lower than normal. Like a lot of times, some of our galas have upwards of 100 people just performing, and that's not to even say any of our directors and music directors and choreographers and stage crew and everybody who supports us on the outside. All the pit members, they're all donating their time as well, all the musicians, and it's really just a great organization. Everybody gives in different ways, with using their talents and their abilities, and it's really fantastic.
Oh, that's great. So you don't just have to be an actor to be part of this group. You could be a musician or a designer or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, that sounds great. Are you excited about the performance coming up?
I'm super excited. It is my first big show performance with all the adults because I was just eligible for it this year. And yeah, I'm super excited to do it.
So, Zanetta, can you give us your big line, something to look forward to?
Yikas!
Thanks for that. That's a classic line from The Music Man, and I'm sure everyone will really enjoy hearing you perform it at the North Shore Music Theater in April. And thank you so much for joining me on Chelmsford Tonight. I think that this is a great thing that you are doing, and I hope that everybody out there will go out and purchase their tickets to the show, because it'll be really fun to see Officer Meehan being Harold Hill. Do you ever sing when you're on the job?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. I might start working that into maybe some traffic stops and things like that. I'll dance up to the car if you run a red light, so.
Oh, that'd be great.
If you see me.
Okay, then I would actually enjoy getting a ticket. All right, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks again for having us.
So that's our show for tonight. Thank you for joining me and learning about what's going on in Chelmsford, and I hope that everybody gets out there, enjoys all these activities that we're having, and we're all really proud of the kids for what they're doing out there. And I want to thank my crew. Haven't seen you guys in a while. Thank Karen and Bob and John, and up in the control booth, Pete Pedulla. And I hope you all have a great night. I'm Karen Woodrow, and it's been a pleasure.